Crime 101 has dropped in theaters, and this film is really good. I was pleasantly surprised by how much I ended up enjoying this film, where we have had tons of really good heist crime thriller movies over the years, and this film is no different. It is a classic crime thriller heist film that manages to carve itself a unique yet familiar spot in its genre. This movie is about 2 hours and 20 minutes long, about 2 hours and 15 minutes when you take out end credits. So, very long movie, right? Fairly long movie. And I was thinking, I saw that runtime and I was like, oh no, that's probably not good. But actually, it manages to use its runtime really effectively to fully explore our characters. You have Mark Ruffalo as the detective. I mean, he just fits into these detective roles perfectly, and he does a really nice job here. You have Chris Hemsworth as our main thief. You have Barry Keoghan, which is kind of like the wild card of this film, just kind of causing chaos, so he has a fun presence in the film. You have Halle Berry, which has a nice place within the story, and she's really good in the film. So everybody across the board does a really nice job, and really just helps pull together this classic crime thriller heist film. And what I think is also really nice about the film, just with its runtime, is it's very, very well paced. Like, it doesn't really drag at any point because it manages to push the plot forward really nicely and use its runtime effectively, like I said, to explore the characters, letting you really spend time with the characters and really let you build the connections with these characters, really help flesh them out. So by the end, when their stories and their characters are all being tied together at the very end, it feels satisfying. It feels like you've gone on a journey with these characters, like Mark Ruffalo's character as the detective. Could have just been a classic detective character trying to solve the case, but no, they give you a little bit more to chew on than you might expect with his sort of character, where he is having some struggles in his personal life. So he's not doing very well, but over the course of the film, you can sort of see him get better as he gets closer to the center of this case, and you just kind of follow his character as he sort of goes on this journey, and so by the end, it's very satisfying. In fact, the last shot of this film is really funny. It ties together something that's really nice, where there's this conversation, it's even in the trailer, I think, where it's between Hemsworth, which is the thief, and then Ruffalo's character, and he's talking about how he wished he had this car, like his dream car, right? And so that at the end of the film, Hemsworth's character had that car and gave it to him. So then the last shot of the film is Mark Ruffalo's character with the biggest smile on his face driving his dream car. And it is like awesome, because when I imagine a classic crime thriller heist film, I would just not imagine that. But no, it manages to tie up together everything really nicely, because it takes the time to really flesh everything out in a really nice way. Chris Hemsworth is really good in his role, and really, again, like I said, everybody really is. Also, something I really enjoyed about this film is the editing. This movie, where a lot of it, like with its main group of characters, they're always in different places doing different things that all add to the whole of the film, where they all meet at the very end, where they all cross paths, where it's the detective, the thief, and then Halle Berry's character, right? You have them three. And while they all play into a greater story, a lot of the times they're not crossing paths. And so, within the film, the way it's all edited never feels disjointed. Like, it all feels like it's done very nicely. Like, you're following all of them very well. And, like, the time is used very well. And it's all edited together very nicely. Just, like, the transitions between the three, it never feels, like, jarring. Like, oh, no. Now it feels like you're not getting as much of this character, so it feels sort of lacking in that department. Or they're doing too much of this character when we get spending time with another character. No, it's all very, very well balanced between our characters, and then when it all comes together at the end, it's satisfying, because then you're following all these moving parts as they eventually collide, and it all leads to our third act, to our finale, and it's very, very well done. And so something that also intrigued me going into the film is that with these kinds of movies, right, we've seen tons of really good heist film crime thrillers over the years. So I was wondering, what's going to make this film stand out for me? Is it just going to be like the others? Is it going to lack in a lot of departments? Is it not going to be that good? Or will it really do something for me? And that's what made me really curious. And I really think this film did. Like, when the things it does with the camera really surprised me, how good the cinematography was. And really, I think it does carve a really nice, like I said, familiar, but it also carves out a unique place in its genre. I think it's really, really worth watching. And so I definitely see it in theaters if you get the chance. If you guys enjoyed today's video or any of my other content, please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.